old time's sakes. For old time's sake. For old time's sake. Landon, let's do an episode of Lunch Break for old time's sake.
For old time sake or for old times possessive sake?
Can you check coming in? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Loud
you. Of course
and clear.
I can.
Okay, so I said for old time. For old times, for the sake of old times.
Yeah, exactly.
So the times that are old are better. We know this, right?
Yeah, we saw that movie from M. Night Shyamalan where they go to the beach and they suddenly they start to be like, I think music doesn't even have real instruments anymore.
Yeah. And my daughter, what's happening to her? And she's like, I remember when gas was $4.50
under the Bush administration. And then the other one's like, no, it wasn't. And she was like, yes, it was. I remember it.
Yeah, that's a part of the movie they didn't really talk about much, is that not only are they getting older, they're having kind of fake memories about how things used to be good.
Well, yeah, and then what some people don't realize is that there are old progressive people who do point out, there's like 1 out of every 10.
Yeah.
And they point out like actually things were bad under the Bush administration, and they were kind of similar to economically, they were similar to some things that going on now. And so it's not, you can't really point the finger to a president per se when especially
Shut up, you. I want you to shut up.
It's true. You can't. It's not necessarily the president's fault that the gas prices are going up and down.
I pledge allegiance to Regis Reagan on the United States lawn of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one notion. Everyone, welcome to Lunch Break.
I loved that movie, Old.
We're back and better than ever.
They did all of that is in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
We just quoted it.
A little spoiler-filled preview of the movie Old by M. Night Shyamalan.
Mm-hmm.
Did he do Mom and Dad?
You absolute idiot.
Well, did he do Mom and Dad about the scary parents? He likes to do movies about scary parents.
You absolute fool.
So answer me this: did he do he must have had something to do with that movie, right? Mom and Dad. Hey, come downstairs. Your mother and I want to have a discussion with you.
You are a complete and utter fool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're a mutton-headed worm, is what you are.
Yeah.
You are a toy.
Hey, here's something that's going on in the news.
Mom and Dad, did you watch that movie, Mom and Dad?
No. I heard someone say it's good.
Yeah, that was me on this very podcast. It's kind of fun. Not as fun as it should have been, though.
I'll check it out when I'm done watching the so many movies that I watched this week that I got to tell you about. But first, Landon, people hate when we do SNL talk.
Yes.
So I'm going to do something that we haven't done. I have got an idea for an SNL sketch, and I want you to let me know if this idea is
very nice,
SNL worthy. Okay. So if you're not a big SNL head, you don't know about the Paul Johnson Dinglebergs and the Melissa Villasenors and the Keenans.
all of the people they let on every week.
So here's my idea.
The Visit, by the way, is the M. Night Shyamalan movie where they go to stay at their grandparents' house.
And it's not what you think.
It's not exactly what you would think. Catherine Hahn is in it.
So Mikey Day comes out and he says, who's one of the SNL cast members, and he says,
no, I know that one.
You guys have to hear this. And his friends, like Keenan, goes, what? And yeah,
are you laughing?
Yeah, because he kind of looks at the camera.
Yeah,
like he almost missed his line.
What?
He's laughing. That's what makes it funny.
He has a
That's
mustache.
what makes it funny. Yeah, his
Mikey
mustache
Dave's
is
like,
kind of falling off a little.
you guys have to hear this. My dog can talk. So then they bring the dog in, which is a thing that they've been doing more and more recently, is almost to say, we know the sketch isn't good, but if we have an animal that's not really doing what it's supposed to, we'll get some laughs. So they bring the dog out, and then the dog opens its mouth and it goes, basically,
That's he can't think of what to say. He's having trouble reading the cue cards. It's meta. It's meta.
he goes, no.
No.
He goes,
Not what I was saying.
he goes, water is dry. The dog goes, water is dry. And so the Mikey Day's friends are like, whoa, your dog is so stupid.
Yeah.
Because he's saying stuff that's, wrong.
Yeah.
But the joke is they're not acknowledging the fact that he can
That he's
speak.
talking.
He's like, my dog can talk. They're like, so what? He's stupid.
Yeah.
And they're just mad that the dog's dumb because he says dumb stuff. So
That's
just
funny.
something to think about.
They could definitely put that on.
I hope they don't listen to this.
Yeah, they might.
I mean, I do.
They would never, Joey. There's never been any instance where they took some comedy writer's idea without them knowing or paying them and putting it on the show as if it was their idea. They've never done that.
No, they've never gone to a show at Second City only to come back and do verbatim the same sketch and write it off as parallel thinking.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Look it up. I defy you to find one shred of evidence that has ever happened in the history of SNL.
You can't find it if it doesn't exist. You can't disprove it if it doesn't exist.
Thank you.
Crazy little thing called love.
There goes my baby.
Oh,
Sherry Davis Jr., man.
That's something I can't do on SNL.
No. Well, there's an aspect.
And what did you say? Okay, here's.
Oh, thank you.
In the same, you can definitely do that on SNL.
Yes.
It actually puts me in mind of a commercial that's been going before some movies at the movie theater and probably on TV too, but I keep seeing it. I keep seeing it in front of movies that I go to at the movie theater. And it's of a guy and he's in his truck, his big jacked up big truck. And he's like, come here, Rufus. Come on, help me herd the cattle. And a cat comes out of the truck. And he's doing so the cat is doing dog tricks. Okay. The cat is doing jobs that dogs do. He's obeying commands. He's doing stuff with the cattle, like I said, and he's doing dog stuff. And then they help rescue a guy who was in an avalanche or something. And he's like, the avalanche guy's like, wow, I've never seen a cat act like that before. Or no, he's like, wow, that's something. And the guy's like, oh, what? My truck that has a bendy tailgate that turns into a desk that I can write a letter on? He's like, no, the cat. I've never seen a cat act like that. And the guy's like, why do people keep pointing out that I have a strange cat?
That's good. And this is something real. You're just telling me something you saw.
That's a commercial that goes on.
It's
kind of similar to what you were saying. And parallel thinking, or
could you put this at the beginning of the episode because I have something to say about this?
Okay, sure.
The last time I personally saw a cat doing dog stuff with jobs, Apple paid me an ungodly amount of money to not tell anyone about it. This is Lunch Break. This is the show where you take. I saw a company earlier today. The name of their company was Late Lunch, and I was like, that would have been a better name for the podcast.
Yeah, because we usually record it at about a midnight the day before it comes out. It's not lunch break at all. We don't work together.
Right.
Neither of us work at the place that we started working when we started the damn thing. The whole show is completely bonkies.
It was an idea that was written in sand during a low tide.
Yes.
And high tide, it comes for us all, right?
Yes. And as Matap Hat Gandhi says, never build your castle on sand, you stupid. Stupid.
He said that. And
That
then
was one of his last words that he ever spoke.
I think his last word was, "I'm hungry." But that's neither here nor here. That's just a little Easter joke for everybody. This is probably where you can start the podcast.
Start here.
Whatever BS we did earlier about mom and dad.
No. Because I have some other SNL potential sketch. Just germs, little germs of ideas. Okay. So first off, we like to, especially at SNL, we do
move it.
Especially at SNL, we like to do, number one, they like to do funny trailers for movies that are like other movies, or parody trailers.
Yeah.
They like to do what's hot in the zeitgeist. They like to play on what's gone. So we just saw the Stranger Things season 4 trailer.
Yes, and we're all squeaking about it.
What about Strangler Things?
What about Stifler Things? So it's like A, his mom, B, I think his best friend, whom has a sort of relationship with a pie. Maybe there's they say maybe the big lead up at the end is like that they show the sign that they're at and it says band camp, and then they show this lady and she raises her eyebrow, and the audience just like whoops it up.
They're whooping it up like Vicky Gunvalson on Real Housewives of Orange County.
Exactly,
like the Tres Amigas used to do. God, that was some of the best times in the OC. And right now they're going through a dry spell, as you know. There's no storyline this season. There's really just there's Noella who's just trying to make storylines. This is one of these thirsty women that you read about. She's trying to start drama where there ain't. Okay. Now you can only ride Heather Dubrow coming back to the franchise for a season. Okay, that got us back in the door, but we're not going to stick around because Heather Dubrow is something of a goddess. You can't just watch her being perfect and not see any other sort of character development.
If you were watching the podcast on YouTube, you saw me when Landon started, I just got out a picnic blanket and I rolled it out and I just kind of let him do his thing.
You should have got out a piece of chalk and a chalkboard because I'm taking you to school, mate.
They used to write on little slates.
Yeah. Did you ever have to do that? Where you go to this little schoolhouse and you pretend for a day that you are poor?
And then they wrap your fingers with your teacher's like, I can actually do this because back in the day it was legal. He smacks you so hard across your ass cheeks with a ruler that you bleed. He's like, see, it wasn't fun back there, was it?
Yeah. You guys have it a lot better today in modern times. Not that that's what we're playing right now, though. Right now we're playing old times.
And then they play modern times and it's like this old guy and he's hanging onto a clock. And you're like, how'd you get this? Even in this school, you could wheel out the big tube TV on the metal rack and it's plugged in. And you have to take out the VHS copy of Finding Nemo to put in modern times. And one time I did I've told this story on the podcast before? Yet. We were in middle school, okay? And
you and me?
Take me back.
Oh God, that
And our
hit
teacher had
different.
just gone to Africa, and he wanted to show us a slideshow of his African trip.
Uh-oh.
And so they gathered up 2 of the classrooms full of kids, and they said, "You must watch this African slideshow." And so the music comes on, something inappropriate he probably picked. He's like, "These are traditional drums." You're like, "All right."
Yeah.
And so anyway, I started feeling like, I was like, I gotta blow my nose. Okay.
No.
That's not the main, like, I
Okay.
can't tell jokes like some of these people. I
Yeah.
guess I have to let you and say, that's not you gotta keep listening.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was already starting to laugh.
It's dark. I gotta blow my nose.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep rubbing my nose. And I'm like, it's sticking to my hand and it's dark in there. And I kind of hold it up to the light and I'm like, my nose is bleeding a lot.
Yeah.
And so I just got up and left because what are you supposed to do? And so then the kid that was sitting next to me said he didn't know what happened to me because he watched the slideshow, had no idea that I had got up to leave. And when they turned the lights on, he turned and there was just an empty chair with a puddle of blood in the chair. He had no idea what had happened.
That's
That's a crazy idea.
That's hilarious.
Now, if that's not an SNL sketch, I don't know what is.
That would be, yeah. You got to write that into a movie someday.
Mhm. So, Landon, what are you thinking about today?
Oh, do you want to hear my other little?
Yes, that's what I was asking, but not so many words.
Okay, so you remember Will Ferrell's famous Harry Carey impression,
Mhm.
the Chicago Cubs famous. He has a restaurant that I had the pleasure of staying directly across when I was in Chicago a couple of months ago. Across from. Okay, he plays Harry Carey very famously, where he goes, "Yeah, do you think the moon is made of chicken wings?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's the funniest thing ever. You have no context as a child for who Harry Carey is, but you know that it's funny. So you get him back to host. He's got to have something, maybe just on the back of this Adam McKay, Will Ferrell news that they're not friends anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You get Will back, just say, "Hey, we'll put you in the Lakers show." I don't, what? Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he does Harry Carey committing harikari.
So you see him say, "I'm at the lowest stages of my depression," and everyone's laughing and laughing. And he takes out, let's say, a 24-inch blade, and then slices into his guts live on TV.
Yeah, but it's
I think
also
yeah.
It's also kind of an ode to that one sketch that he was on a rotating thing. He's like singing a Christmas carol. It's completely straight. He's playing it completely straight, but then he projectile vomits the whole time, and he keeps trying to sing, and you can even see the tube coming out of his shirt, but it doesn't matter because it's so funny.
There's a lot of old SNL you watch when you go, "Oh, it's never been good." This, they haven't been good for 40 years. You watch the second episode of that.
Of course.
It's 10 minutes of George Carlin doing stand up. And then it's John Belushi doing something you probably can't do now, where the joke is just that he's a samurai. The joke is the noises that a samurai makes.
You're right.
Not even going to attempt that one.
No.
But they hit a golden period.
Well, it's a golden period for a young cis white man.
A golden period for ape.
To a young boy, typically straight white male, to find everything in that era funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember ever watching SNL. I remember watching the best of DVDs.
Yeah.
Because So yeah, if you watched a random episode from 2003, probably not gonna laugh too much. But you put sweaty balls on, you're dying laughing.
They put something on the Thanksgiving episode, an old sketch that they were making jokes to things that no one has context for.
Right.
And I was like, you don't have to include everything just because they said Thanksgiving in the sketch. But
We
that's neither here nor there.
We have to stop talking about SNL. Here's one more quick idea. A fake promo for a TLC reality show called Help, I'm Married to Jared. And it's Jared's wife in his pants. You know Jared from Subway, his big
Right.
pants. So it kind of tracks her journey. She has to get rid of all of his fat clothes
All of
and his skinny clothes.
If it doesn't spark joy, she has to get rid of it. But
Yeah.
she realizes it sparks joy for the children of the neighborhood because they're using it as one of those like parachute things.
Yeah, it's like
Where
an
you-
episode of Ed, Ed and Eddie where they like build a city out of his pants.
Landon, in the interest of the fact that we don't call the show late lunch, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We got it. What are you eating? Because
Yes.
people are having their lunch
That's true.
never
Never.
when they
Yeah.
listen to this.
We should do a poll. We should see how many people do wait, like good little guys and girls, and do wait for their lunch to listen.
Yeah, wait to chomp their noms for when the episode drop.
I'm not having it now, but I ate the Okie Dokie ice cream from Trader Joe's. Did you ever hear about this one?
Yeah, is that it's got caramel?
Caramel and little sponge candy.
Mm-hmm. And it says like the Netherlands' favorite food or whatever.
New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I got it. Well, I wanted to get it because I love ice cream and I'm a fat hog, but I decided, oh, it's the New Zealanders.
Mm-hmm.
They got to know a thing or two. And they do. This is good. I like this ice cream. Well, it's not even ice cream, in fact. It's an oat cream. It's a non-dairy dessert.
Ah,
So it's good. I give it a 0.7.
this brings me to a good thing, okay? Which is ice cream,
Great.
which is good. I got some oat cream in the freezer as we speak, but I shan't be speaking about it. But earlier at the store, I saw that they got a cherry crumble Ben and Jerry's. This is a
What?
limited batch,
Dang.
like berry with cherries and oat crumble.
What's
But
it called?
they-
What's it called? What's it called? Come
Cherry
on.
crumble.
That's not funny.
No, this leads me to my next point. Add some of those chocolate shavings in there. Call it cherry curl.
Okay, that's good.
And
See?
the problem being, which I know is going to come up in the comments,
Mhm.
they can't just use cherry as that can't just be a blanket. If there's cherries in it, we have to match it to a Jerry.
Jerry.
First of all, Garcia not around anymore. He's not going to know that you've sort of split the duties. Jerry Curl, not necessarily a person. They can feel like they're sharing duties with another Jerry.
Well, hold on. Isn't Cherry Garcia? That's not just Ben and Jerry's. That's like everyone, right?
No, I think it's Ben and Jerry's, and that's what you call it now.
Is that what
it's
happened?
like the Kleenex,
Okay.
where it's like, give me like a Cherry Garcia.
Okay.
I
think you're right. I think you're right. I don't think you're right.
It's like
Actually.
saying, get me Thin Mints, and people just know you're talking about the new Thin Mint Oreos, but it's just what you call them. If I said, go to the store and get me Thin Mints, 95% of people are going to go get exactly what I want, which is the new Thin Mint Oreos. They know I don't mean the Girl Scout cookies. And you could take a poll. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Everyone has done this.
hmm Yeah, I looked it up. It was Ben and Jerry's that come up with it first.
It's a picture of Ben and Jerry. They're both missing a tooth. It just says, "We come up with this first."
Got it. But it is. You're right. It's one of those where it's synonymous with a cherry chocolate ice cream. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's because it's such a specific.
I would say that Cherry Garcia is, in fact, this was my whole point. Cherry Garcia is more famous than Jerry Garcia. Prove me wrong.
I think you're probably right in terms of
I thank you.
they both make you see dancing bears, okay? Okay. But they both also make you see a skeleton with a headdress on. Landon.
Yeah. One time I called Jerry Garcia Joey Garcia because I was with Joey when I said it. I know.
Hey, you gave us your rating. Oh my gosh. You gave us your rating,
What's
right?
wrong with
Do you think people could tell that I had COVID last week?
No. You did? Okay, you did. You did.
Okay, so I heard your rating for your snack, but unfortunately, this might come as a surprise to you, but I have to say,
Access denied.
No.
because we are going to be moving into a new rating system.
What?
Thinking long and hard, easy. Don't take that out of context, okay? But thinking long and hard and stroking my ego and thinking about boner, the way that the show is put together. The show's called Lunch Break.
Yes.
We need a rating system that is, and is it to take away what we've done in the past? Yet. But I want the rating system should be, is it a good lunch?
I'm already mad about this, and I'll tell you why. When you're done with your spiel.
Is it a good lunch? Yes or no? Because yes, the food, yes, I have these crackers and they're actually pretty good. 0.8. It's called lunch break. You're eating you ate ice cream for lunch. That's the premise. Is it good? Sure. But is it a good lunch? Could be. Some of these ice creams have so many chunks in them. It reminds me of scrolling through Reddit, looking at the memes. Okay, about the chonksters.
Another chonker. Another day, another chonker.
The bubble. Another chonker. 2022. Judd Apatow hires his family to be in a movie.
I don't know. I just wanted to.
Judd over here. That's Landon's Judd Apatow. So your rating needs to be out of how good of a lunch it be. With 1 being fruity cereal Kit Kat bar.
Okay, so we're not changing
being the
that.
perfect lunch.
Gotcha. Okay. I was going to say, I thought you were going to introduce a new food that was a perfect 1 without me and try to change the rating system without my having confirmed that it was a 1.
Right.
And I was going to kindly and respectfully rip your shirt off and squeeze your nipples until they bled. But I'm still going to do that, but I do forgive you.
So with that in mind, and thank you. I still have COVID. What rating do you give your snack now?
Okay, so if it is is it a good lunch? And a 1 is a fruity cereal. I'm gonna give this a 0.7.
So, what was the thing you thought I was gonna do?
introduce a new perfect one food.
Right. So right here I've got the Fruity Pebbles birthday candy bar. It's not a Kit Kat bar, but it is a Fruity Pebble birthday cake.
Candy
Now,
bar. Candy
I
bar.
bought one of these before. Big controversy because there's a big hole in the packaging.
Right.
When I bought it the first time, it did not say birthday cake on it. I assume nothing has really changed.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because what would that
Fruity Pebbles
mean?
and birthday cake flavor. They're kind of
Yeah.
similar flavor, yeah?
Yeah.
No.
So, so I went to the store to get another one.
Hey, what brand is that? It looked like a funny brand name.
Yeah, it is really funny. Oh, what, Frankfurt? That's funny to you? Or Post?
Hey, man, I don't know. Frankfurt, kind of funny.
Yeah, you're like the guy who says, "Am I funny being a clown to you?" So I'm gonna try to peel this open. I went to the store to get another one. The first one I picked up had a hole in it because of the sharp cereal. This is an epidemic. They're making these cereal bars and they're not really thinking about their bottom line. Let me just get this open really quick here.
Just get on with it.
It is a Post Fruity presented by Frankfurt, a Post Fruity Pebbles birthday cake candy bar.
Now, what is this an A24 movie where we have to have 8 different production titles before the candy bar? Just show me the candy bar presented by Frankfurt, a post production.
We want to do the cool merch, but we need someone else to put up $1.275 million.
But we could just sell a $60 hat. Shut up, and I'll get to them in a second.
I'm getting notes of this is very sweet.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey,
loaded with
oh yes, that's loaded. That's reloaded. He's sitting back. He's really taking this one in, guys. So it's a white chocolate bar with Fruity Pebbles in it, but the white chocolate is birthday cake flavored white chocolate.
Can't be. Think of it. The white chocolate tastes just like the Hershey's cookies and cream bar,
which I love.
Yep.
Which I love.
But you take out the cookie and you add in the Fruity Pebble.
Where are we at then? You know, what is this all about then?
This is so sweet. It's sickly. It's saccharine. Sickly. Is it a good lunch? Oh, this is where I start to get my heart hurt. You heard how Landon had to switch his answer.
Yeah, you're really screwing us all up.
0.5.
Wow.
Too sweet.
Too sweet. This guy, and that's actually in line with how you do stuff, though, Joey. Joey's the guy that he's got a sweet tooth, but he doesn't want it to be too.
Oh, wait. Kind of salty. Interesting. A little salty.
Oh, just now? Or you want it to be a little salty?
No, yesterday.
Hey, don't make me come over there and literally and respectfully rip your shirt off, squeeze your nipple till they bleed.
Here's what I mean by this. And people are going to get mad at me all the time because they're like, if you don't like sweet food, stop buying it. Shut up. The chocolate, which is white.
Yeah.
Known as white coating.
We wouldn't expect anything else from you.
It is just known as white coating. It's so sweet. You can barely taste the cereal. The main attraction should be the Fruity Pebs.
Yeah, of course.
You can barely taste them.
No,
0.5. My throat's burning.
Well, that's not.
I can't breathe.
Not the candy bar. That's why you have a reputable chocolatier make your chocolate bar, not Frankfurt.
No, because they don't know what is good. You know,
it was probably one of those things. Right. It was probably one of those things where post was like, we want to put our cereal in another chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some bids going.
Yeah.
And it's like when the city puts out a request for bids for like, we need cameras for every street corner, and they get like 18 bids and millions of dollars for some, and then they go with the cheapest, which is like Al's video store.
Right.
And he puts up a handy cam on each corner because
Yeah.
it's not quality work. It's just some guy making chocolate in his basement and throwing Fruity Pebbles in.
Yeah, they get the guy from the Happy Madison Productions logo because they're like,
Sir
"Do you
Alec
do good
Guinness?"
work?" And he's like, "Brilliant," or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's the cheapest. They're like, "Who's gonna do the?" You would think someone that bids midway. You know, they're kind of in the middle.
Get the middle. Yes.
Get the middle guy. Spend the little extra money. We're gonna
Mhm.
go with them because they bid the least amount of money. That's not how you should be doing that.
Yeah. Because the top guy, he's highballing you. Yeah, I mean, more or less, this guy's charging you. He's charging you double at
Yeah.
least.
And
He's trying to pay for his boat.
God, you ever had a beverage out of a highball glass?
Mm-mm.
There's just nothing better.
Oh,
Let me look this up.
have I ever seen a
Oh.
highball glass?
This is what I'm. Yeah. Oh, so they're coming in different sizes from what I'm seeing.
Let me just grab mine.
From the kitchen?
Yeah, here. Let me just grab it really quick. Just give me a second to grab it,
Yeah. Okay.
just to see what it looks like.
Just grab it from the cupboard. No, that's okay. You can go to the
Oh,
kitchen.
so it's just a glass.
Yeah.
Okay.
William
Joey,
Sonoma classic highball glasses. Those are the kind of things I wear in my face. People say I got Coke bottle glasses. I'm like, try highballs. And then I say, try highballs. Because I suck them in.
Mhm.
Suck them in, suck them in, suck them in like you're in Tintin or Anne Boleyn. What? What's your question? I watched a lot of stuff this week.
let's get to it because people don't like the food section. People like the SNL section of the show. They like
Brilliant.
the part, where we talk about Alec Guinness as the guy who's on the Happy Madison. And they like when we talk about what we've watched because people think of us as culture critics. They think of us as reputable sources of intel on what's good and what's not.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to see a video exclusive thing?
Yeah.
Billie Jean is not my lover.
So that's one of the things that you can, if you're watching the video, you can see, oh, they get it. They're playing with sort of sight, sound. They're playing with topical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They know what's good. They know what's not. So with that in mind, Landon, I watched, let's say, 4 movies and a documentary that I'd like to.
Jeez,
And we don't have to talk about all of them.
What was wrong with you?
Nothing. Just had a little free time after, during, before work.
No, let's talk about all of them. We have about 20 minutes.
So basically, I watched Landon's favorite movie, The Mitchells vs. the Machines.
First time?
First
Sorry.
time.
First time?
Time? Yeah. It's my first time seeing The Mitchells vs. the Machines. Can you believe it?
I've seen it twice.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Nod to me if you're telling a jokes. Oh, crap. It's good.
I've watched it once and then it was on in the background.
It's a good, I'll say this about it. Okay. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, almost to the point where I'm like, hey, sensory overload. What am I supposed to be looking at here?
Yeah.
Because every scene is so chaotic. And I'm like, this reminds me of the internet. You know, we're so connected, yet we've never been further apart. It's just a whole thing. But it's one of those movies that you put on, you go, let's put on something light. And then you end up halfway through going, I knuckle cry, I knuckle cry, I
Right.
knuckle cry, I knuckle cry.
Right. You can't put on these cartoons anymore for
No,
a good time. They're the saddest and the most impactful.
because who's making these cartoons? It's not kids.
No.
It's adults that have been hurt that regret
They're like,
everything.
I wish my mom and dad let me go to art school.
Maybe if they saw the movie, they would see that my mom and dad, them, was wrong to not let me go to art school.
Or that like that movie Soul we watched a while ago.
Uh
I was like, that's probably the most I've wanted to cry at a movie since Click.
huh.
Yes, since Click, the Adam Sandler movie where they tear the rug out from under you and you think it's all bad all the
Yeah.
time. But yeah, no, that's these movies. I mean, they're so good. So you liked it?
Yeah. I at first I was like, this is kind of maybe not the humor that I want to see. Just not. It's a kids movie, but then
Well,
it wins you over.
Lord and Miller would be beating you to hell right now
I know.
after after what they said in their letter to the Academy, and you're
Mhm.
doing the same thing as the Academy. It's just wrong of you. Animated films marketed towards kids and made for kids to enjoy are not actually for kids.
Mm-mm.
They're for everyone.
Why is that? Why is cartoons for kids?
I don't know.
You know?
And it's like that one movie that was an animated movie that wasn't for kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's not for kids. It's
Right.
like, well, yeah, that one's not for kids. That one's about like war and people dying and stuff.
Yeah. I think that like when you watch as a child, when you watch Anomalisa, and
Yeah.
it's just a lot of middle-aged
Right.
smexing.
Yeah.
You start to realize about 45 minutes through, maybe animation isn't just for kids.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing this old decrepit man's, how do you say, a schlonger, and he's whipping it around like it's nobody's business. And he's
Right.
very sad about it, and he's David Thewlis.
Hey, I'll say what no one wants to say. I want the animated movies to be for kids. I want them more for kids because I don't want to watch them and feel more
Mhm.
feelings than I feel watching a real movie.
And then it reminds me of when you are a kid. If I watched this movie when I was a kid, I'd be crunched.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, why are you doing this to your dad?
Yeah.
And just like, is this what it's like to be a grown up?
Yeah.
And just everything's sad, and they're all that way.
Yes.
Hmm.
What do you give this movie?
Rum-bum, rum-bum, brr-rum-bum. Point 0.8. Good animation, good music, good looking out,
Sure.
teaches you. And I said, I want to see more of these Mitchells. Give me a part 2. So after that, I went on to watch John Carpenter's Christine.
You're obsessed.
And then I said, I want to see more of an aspect of this. So then I watched Stand By Me, which is the Stephen King side of things.
Right.
I said, I've never actually watched this. I've never actually seen the whole movie.
Me neither.
Because
Good?
you just think, oh, I've seen this. I
Yeah,
get
well, I don't
get
think
what
that.
it is.
I
No,
don't
you
think
do.
that. I've never seen
And
it.
it's like, I get it. In my head, I've seen it.
No, I've never thought that. Because I
It's
know that
great.
I haven't seen it.
It's great. It's just a good movie.
Yeah, that's
Another
what
movie
everyone
that makes
tells me.
you be sad.
Yeah.
The power of Rob Reiner compels you to watch Will Wheaton, Riverman Phoenix, Jerry O'Connell,
Yeah.
and Biff run through the forest to look for this Bode.
Yeah.
based on Stephen King's The Body.
Look, I'm with Sam Elliott when I say the power of the Rob Reiner is just a bunch of horse crap.
Well,
But I'm also with him when I say I'm sorry for saying that.
I didn't actually see it. I was mad at the trailer. Sir,
Yeah.
we like to congratulate you on 1 million miles in the sky.
yeah, he's a real cowboy being a pilot. Sam, go back to your Hollywood dreams, okay? This is the West isn't what you thought it was anymore, okay?
Okay.
And then after I watched
Christine. Hey, by the way, Christine, car movie. Scary car. Is that right?
yeah. This is why I've avoided watching this movie for so long because of Stephen King's weird.
He's upset. The guy's upset. The way that you're obsessed with watching all of John Carpenter's movies of late, Steve King obsessed with scary cars.
I have to finish what I started. So this movie is not scary. I don't even know if they're trying to be scary because I think you can't. The car is just evil, okay? The car's name is Christine. The car is evil, Christine. That being said, this is a fun movie.
Sure.
I don't have anything bad to say about it other than not great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a bad movie.
No.
It's
God.
fun. The car's killing people. It's on fire. It's driving around on fire. Hits a guy.
And isn't this true of all? Maybe I've said this on here. I don't even know. You know, sometimes I say this stuff to anyone I meet, and I don't know if it's you or my wife or my dog or my children. But Stephen King, any adaptation of Stephen King's work is still fun. Like even those, like the limited series or mini series things, like they have terrible CGI. It's the Tommy Knockers. It's Rose Red. It's all these things. They're still fun because at their very core is some very well-built world that Stephen King spent, I don't know, 3 days writing. I don't know. This guy writes so fast, you know?
Well, it's all that. Whoo, whoo,
Right.
whoo.
But the guy knows how to write characters. He knows how to build a world, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I was listening to another podcast, which I know I'm sorry, but sometimes you have to because I want to go deeper into Christine. What did other people think of this movie?
Sure.
And the people that were on were people that host a Stephen King podcast. I don't remember the name of it. Don't care. Not going to plug other shows. But they were saying, you know, they've read all of Stephen King's books basically for this podcast, and they're big King heads. Kingpins. That's not a bad name for a show.
I think I know the show you're talking about, but I can't think of the name either.
And they said, he's like, I've read all his books. I don't think I've ever been scared.
Right.
Like they're not these like, he's the master of terror. You cannot sleep after. I've never had that happen after reading. I mean, I feel after I read it, I felt sick. Sick to my stomach. This disgusting. I think it's because I read it in one day.
Well, yeah.
When you read 1,600 pages in one day, you tend to skip other things you need to do.
You read it as fast as he wrote it.
And I was just ah!
They're doing what to each other? They're doing what to each other? See, by the end, you like it.
Yeah, I was ripping pages faster than he could rip
lines.
Line. It's different when Stephen King says it. If you're on set and Stephen King goes, "I'm turning green," line. They have to bring him a little mirror with a freaking credit card. I'm just kidding.
No, I know.
We'll email him if he we'll email him
We'll
if
see.
he wants to.
He was on that Stephen King podcast.
Ah,
They finally got him.
ah.
I'm sure he'll just come on this one too.
Yeah. So that movie was fine, but yes, it's not scary. They're just he's just fun.
He's fun.
Yeah.
What can you say?
Deal with
Do you rate Christine?
I do rate Christine. I give Christine 0.6. No, full 6.
Mm-hmm.
Full 6 ahead because it makes a good lunch. Stand By Me gets a point. No, gets a full 8.
Okay.
And then as I transitioned from being a parent watching my Mitchell's movie to just kind of an older guy reminiscing with Christine to just an old person watching Stand By Me, I got even older and I watched Saving Private Ryan pretty much right after I watched Stand By Me. So this movie is also good. So this is what people like to hear when we discuss films that we
I've
watch
never seen.
something.
Had you seen it before?
No, and not
Yeah.
like this.
Oh God, no.
Meaning the same way I've seen Stand By Me. But
On
it's
your
like
laptop.
but I gotta watch this freaking scary war movie.
Yes.
Tommy Hanks, Seinfeld directed it. Directed by Steven Seinfeld.
What's the deal with all the squibs? They're
Mhm.
going off too fast.
You guys have to stop with the squibs. Yeah, I've never seen this before.
I'm calling action 5 times to get the camera action, the squib action, the talent action. I mean, that's too much action.
By the time I'm done saying action, can you tell that I had COVID last week?
What?
By the time that I got done saying action, I had to say cut.
It's not hard being Seinfeld.
It's not hard being Seinfeld.
So this movie is Scary War.
These movies are probably war movies are probably, everything is so fake these days. I mean, you look at how 14-year-olds dress now, and it's like, when I was 14, I was wearing a shirt and some scuba diving shoes. And now they've got like lipstick on and they paint their nails.
Yeah, and they wear those jeans with like the little guy with the flame head on the butt patch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. That was me.
Oh, wait. Nope. Guilty. But I watched a behind the scenes for the visual effects of the new Spider-Man film. Did you happen to catch this? It's crazy how much of the movie is fake.
Yes.
It's shattered. And no, you're not listening to me.
Okay.
You're looking at me and you're nodding and you're smiling and you're nodding to the people in the room with you and you're kind of laughing to yourself.
He thinks they actually are Spider-Man. I don't know.
The first shot is like, he's like, so we have this door and he enters the house, but the whole house is fake. And then they show
I did see that.
The entire building is fake. And then he's like, this is a shot of him in New York, but it's hard to shoot a Spider-Man movie in New York. So the railing next to him is real and everything else is computer animated. All the people behind him are computer generated. Some of them were actors.
Yeah.
And they're like, this shot, the actor couldn't be there on that day. So the whole thing was shot with him on greens. It's just like the whole movie is fake. So
and can you tell while you're watching it?
Sure. Yeah. Because everything's just a little weird.
But it's still good.
Oh, it's still the best movie that came out. But when you watch this Spielberg's war movie, that's where movie magic comes to life.
Yes.
And you go, how do they do this? It takes you back to being a child going, I have to find these special features and I have to see the squibs go off. And I have to see Tom Hanks go, we did 6 days of boot camp and everyone wanted to quit. I told them, no, we're not quitting. This is Steven Spielberg's film, Shaving Ryan's Privates. And we're not stopping for anything. And we didn't. And I can't imagine what those guys went through on that D-Day. Me and my wife celebrate double D-Day. It's not what you think. It's an Ed, Ed and Eddie celebration. Buttered toast.
My son Chet loves it.
He has the IQ of a pickle. So you've got a great film. Steven Spielberg's a pretty good director. But the movie is a little bit, there's just some funny, I mean,
Funny.
it's the kind of stuff that they make fun of in other movies now.
Right.
Like the very heroic scenes or when someone's dying. Very, very, it's like, angels over our heads. It's just it's kind of cheesy.
It's all over the top. Yeah. But I think that was the movie that people spoofed after that, right?
Yeah.
Because it was kind of famous for being over the top.
Yeah.
But good.
I give Saving Private Ryan, and you're not going to believe this, an 8.5.
Wow. You do love military stuff, don't you?
I'm like an old person.
You love war stuff.
The second it stopped, I looked up. I was like, I wonder if I should rewatch Band of Brothers.
I knew you would.
Do I have 9 hours? Still got to finish that Ken Burns documentary.
You really are an old soul.
Well, you know what they say. Takes one to scrotum. It's this brain.
God.
The thing is, the biggest thing with all this is the brain fog.
Tell me about it. I've had it for 2 years. It doesn't go away. I used to be funny.
Yeah.
I used to be funny. I
now
can't
I'm
think
so
of anything.
slow. I'm like, when I go to the store, I'm just like, bae. I'm just doing the stupid crap everyone else is doing.
I used to be original, and now I just say bae.
Yeah.
That should be a meme that like a parent would post, where it's a picture of Scarface, and it says, "I used to be original, now I just say bae."
Mhm.
And they post that online as if that is supposed to mean something to anyone.
Or it's that one meme where it's the old lady talking to like her daughter, and the daughter's got her arm around the old lady, and she's kind of walking along with her, and the bubble to the mom to the old lady says, "I used to be original, but now I just say bae." And then the daughter says, "Okay, Grandma, let's get you home."
And then underneath that says, "Tell me you went to school with Spicoli without telling me you went to school with Spicoli."
Do you hear my chair creaking?
Sure, that was your chair. I have to send you something. What was it? Is it something I can talk about on the podcast, or is it something that we can't talk about on the podcast and I shouldn't be bringing it up right now?
Well, can I bring up one thing?
Oh, yeah.
Because you never want to ask me what I watched.
Oh, Landon? There's a video that I think you sent me, and around a certain part in the video, you can hear someone fart. So, Landon, what did you watch?
I watched the Daniels film Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Bob's your uncle.
No. Tom.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace.
The movie Everything Everywhere All at Once is everything that everyone has been saying. It's good. Here's what I'll say. Probably one of the first A24 movies I didn't want to sleep through. No, I'm kidding. But it is actually entertaining, and not the way that the lady that lives with me would look to me and say, this is a Landon movie. Now, it is a Landon movie, which is what we call any movie that's not, I don't know, something entertaining. It is a Landon movie, but it's good, and she did like it too. Now, it's I'll describe it as this: Crank, but good.
Oh, okay.
You know the Crank movies?
Yeah, I thought you meant like it's bad, but it's good. Like, God, that's just all.
No.
That's all crank. I think that's a saying I just made up.
No, yeah, you definitely made that up. But you remember the Crank movies and how that's just kind of like insane action for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, crank 1, crank 2, high voltage.
And 3. Wasn't
Oh,
there a
wait, it was
third?
3 high voltage?
I think so. I think it was Crank, Crank 2, Crank Harder, and Crank 3 high voltage. I
Then
don't
they
know.
were gonna do all done cranking,
And then they were going to do Al Crankin Senator.
but we know what happened with that one.
Yeah.
Then I
Too
think they were
hard.
gonna
He
do.
cranked too hard.
What was the reboot? Release the cranking.
Yeah.
So you
But-
like this movie?
Yeah,
they
it's
got
fantastic.
they got the guy out of retirement.
They said,
Indy's friend.
yeah. They said, short round, will you please?
Mr. Round.
Mr. Round, will you please be average height, skinny? And he was like, yeah, I think I could do that. And he's great. This movie, speaking of movies that make you say, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. Couple times, buddy. And you wouldn't think so because there's some laugh out loud comedy gags going on. And then there's such utter sentiment that you just say, this is good. This is what movies should be. This movie makes you want to actually do something good with your time on this earth. At least for me. That was my reaction.
You're kind of a psycho.
Mhm.
I think that, yeah, I do want to see this.
You got to check it out.
I always like when a movie restores my faith in humanity.
Yeah, I don't know. You know,
Faith in humanity restored, I say.
and not so much, it kind of restored my faith in me liking and critically thinking about movies. Because I've spent so much of my time, the last couple years especially, kind of avoiding movies that might make me think a little harder than I would have wanted to.
Yeah.
And not that this one really makes you think, like, it's all pretty there for you to just eat up, but it is just interesting, and it makes you want to be introspective. It makes you want to think about how they filmed it. Some of the fight scenes are great, and you just know they had so much fun putting that camera on the end of a freaking fanny pack as it flings around a room and stuff. And you just gotta smile when you're watching it because you're like, God, that's what I wanted to do when I was a young boy.
Well, Landon, let's just put it this way. Okay.
Mhm.
Hold on. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find the information I would like to give to you.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on.
Well, here's one more thing I wanted to say about
This
this.
is good. This is good.
Okay. So I haven't read or heard too many opinions about the movie because I kind of want to just keep it all my own. But of course, everyone's opinion is that it's very good. But one thing that really struck me is that, of course, you know the premise. If you've seen the trailer, you see that Michelle Yeoh kind of goes through a multiversal effect where she is taking on different personas from of herself in different universes.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, but the effect when they do it, and it's in the trailer, you will see basically it's a close up of her face, and she will kind of flip through different existences and then land on the one that she wants to. And it struck me, and then I'll shut up and we'll go back to the comedy. It struck me as I've been thinking about this movie for the last week, and I hear someone in the other room flipping through TikTok. Oh no, uh, yeah, wop, wop, wop. And then, all the different sounds and stuff. And then you look at TikTok and you look at the interface, and it's a lot of people doing a close up of themselves. And you're just watching a billion people living out different lifestyles that maybe one would vicariously want to live themselves, and are trying to, as they're flipping through this social media app. And it's not just TikTok, but that's what it reminded me most of, because it's this fast edit of a face being a chef, and then a pilot, and then a cheerleader, and then all these different existences. And it's a lot like TikTok. It's a lot like social media. You're seeing all these different people living lives that maybe you wish you could, or you have aspirations to do in the future. And that's kind of all what this movie is talking about. And it doesn't look at it cynically, though. That's what the great part is. It's not a cynical movie. You think it is for a second, and you think, at least for me, as I'm making this connection to TikTok, that it's a cynical look at, like, oh God, all the regrets, all the things I should have done, all the people I wish I could be, but I'm not, because I'm just this lonely little bastard looking at TikTok. No, all of these different existences can live in the same world, and be in the same is the same person, the same individual. You can be the multitude of all of your desires, and that's actually a good thing. And at the end of the day, it's the people that we love and the things we care about that make us who we are and make it all worth it.
I was going to say that you've got time to do that, but one of the directors, Daniel Scheinert, is 35. So we're kind of coming up around the bend here. So start thinking of some good movie ideas.
Well,
if you want to get in the biz and kind of make people excited about your work. I'm just saying you got a couple.
I thought help. I'm married to Jared.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
help. I'm married to Jared. Now that you say it again, after you talked about the multiverse situation, help. I'm married to Jared. There's just a good flow to that.
Yeah.
Help. I'm married to Jared. Help. I'm married.
Do you think with all these multiverse things, like this No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, now this, doing it on like an indie level where it's like fun and cool, and it's not like the big, like, they're just trying to show me toys and different Spider-Man variants.
Yeah.
And then DC with that Flash movie, after they face replace Ezra Miller throughout the whole thing because he's a little criminal. That's going to be in the multiverse, doing the DC multiverse thing. Do you think we're going to get like a bunch of multiverse stuff now? Is that just like the new genre of movie?
Yeah, because superhero movies have gotten to the point that is, it's kind of second. It's a common knowledge,
right?
Not like, what do you like the multiverse? So now you're dealing with quantum ding dongs,
right?
People get that it's kind of like you could go from one thingy to the other thingy.
Yeah.
But so now, yeah,
you almost think that it's going to be a whole new genre.
Mm-hmm.
Because the superhero genre isn't really a genre anymore.
No, it's everywhere. And that's why somewhere in the universe, there's two guys named Lomdom and Jimmy, and they're doing Lunch Bork.
I hope they have more listeners.
One person. If they have one listener, they've got more than us.
But maybe that's actually kind of beautiful.
Wow. Bye.
listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.